I am your MC for this evening. Wicked, wicked, wicked. It's an honor to be here. It's a great honor for me, y'all, because my part is real short. The man of God asked me to MC some phenomenal news. But before we get to what we're going to get to, where are the wives at of these awesome men? In case somebody single came in here and got okay. See, that's what I got a little thirsty. Okay. Trey came out the bathroom. Did you wash your hands? Come running down, Trey. She said, "That's my man right there." Y'all, okay? Y'all give it up for the wives. Danielle, okay, we know Danielle. You didn't have to go and hand them nothing. But that one right there, she's like, that one right there. That one's right beside. So real quick, the men, these awesome married husbands, I just thank God for that, are going to teach tonight on how to handle finances. We've been blessed with, we heard from the awesome Davion, Sister Barlowe. We've heard over and over Bishop's teaching, but on Tuesday nights, we want to stick with our financial theme. So we're going to hear different perspectives. Everybody does things differently. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has a turnaround. So these men are going to give you their financials, and they are priests with different circumstances. The beauty of this mix is they've come from different backgrounds. Now, I'm supposed to be teaching tomorrow, and Bishop wants me to handle something, so I will. But it's in my spirit to have the wives tomorrow come with their version. So tomorrow you definitely have to hear from Lisa. I told Keith, I said, I'm only going to stand up 5 minutes to make your wife roll her eyes at me, and then I'm done. And because one thing about it, and you'll hear from Keith, but being married to a Keith Mills, and y'all know that thing is fine and she don't never look bad, but it's about handling the finances of looking bad. You can look good without going outside the budget your husband set. And so we need to hear Lisa's input. And I've known Lisa, I was married to her husband. I've known her all my life. She don't do bounce. I mean, your brother, I'm sorry. Your brother. Like she said that real fast. My bad. Please edit that off the podcast or somebody. But I'm married to her brother. But the way she's always handled her finances, she don't do bounce checks. She stay within her budget. If you go shopping with her, she walk in looking for Clarence. I'm like, who is Clarence? Lisa, you having an affair? She's like, honey, my boo, no. Me and Clarence got a thing going on. She goes straight to Clarence. But she never looks bad, so you would think it would cost a lot of money, and she knows how to do that. So it's going to be awesome to hear just a little snippet. Trajan is like, Mom, please, Mom, please. But she has a testimony. Danielle, who's had to make more money than her husband, and sometimes her husband's make the most. So that's a balance, and never emasculate him. Here we got Candace, who came into an established home. So you see the different dynamics. You have no excuse. And before I sit down, we have to give a special shout out. I'm so proud of her. And I don't know where she went off to, but Erica has been in her own apartment for the past 3 months, y'all. It is not home ownership, but it's her own apartment. Come out the bathroom. Did you wash your hands? Oh, that's her mama. Her mama put her out 3 months ago. Now, she has been in her own apartment and is furnished. I've been in my house for a year and it ain't even furnished. Like, this girl got that apartment laid up. And that is a start. That's a start. That's a big deal. Now, we all got to own some land. But that's a step saying, Mom, you're just going to keep living up under your roof. I appreciate everything you did, but I can manage my money to handle a home. And you know, she's going to eat. She look good. And that's something we have to learn. You don't have to be like, I'm on a budget and looking raggedy. And so she's managing that. So I just wanted to shout out her. And next is home ownership, and her mom is taking those steps. So we got a good thing going on here at Grace Apostolic. So I want to give the men. So women wives be taking notes. So we're going to hear from you tomorrow. And I'm just going to, just because Bishop told me to handle something when it comes to royalty and how our thinking is. So with everything you're going to hear tonight and everything you're going to hear tomorrow, you have to open up your mind. Everybody right now say, God, I don't care who speaks. Open up my mind. I need to know how to handle my finances. Get out of your feelings. Don't take it personal. Don't take, oh, dang, they doing so much better than me. You try to cancel out. Well, Keith and Lisa been married for 50 years. Of course they got it together. No. Don't make excuses as to why you are in your situation. You can make a change. It don't matter that Kenny has a Trajan. Well, if my wife was like Trajan, then I can make some moves. No. Cancel out everything. It's never too late. And you're never too young to be looking towards that place, to look in that direction. Amen? We're going to start with H.G. Fields. Come on, let's go. I'll be back because I'm the MC today. Move may lead now. We're not going to do that because you're going to distract it. Okay. In the MC, y'all. Matter of fact, I might change seats.
What up, my weebles? Hey, I'm gonna jump right into it because we on limited time. I want to say I'm honored to share the panel with my brothers here. These great men. Give it up for these great men, y'all. My brothers. All of them are fathers, husbands, hard workers, and a royal priesthood. Come on, y'all. That's my guys. Bishop told me, well, y'all heard him say it. Talk about how to come out of a bedroom. So that's what I had in my notes. How to come out of a bedroom. Right, go to I gotta go with a scripture. Give us, May. Can we go read Genesis 12:1?
We sure can.
Now, I just for clarity, y'all, and I think I've said this to y'all before. My wife and I have owned a couple houses before.
Yeah.
So, but we were young. We were kind of slammed into those situations. We was green. We didn't really know what we was doing. And it cost us. You know what I mean? It cost us severely. But we learned in the process. This house here, when we came out of this bedroom, was we put all the work into doing this ourselves. And it was great it was a learning process. But we didn't just go from a bedroom to a house. But in this case, we did just go from a bedroom to a house. So,
yes.
Huh? We had a whole house? Oh, you can tell it tomorrow because I can't hear you. Go ahead. I really couldn't hear. Go ahead, May. Listen, because this is where I want to start.
Genesis 12. And
yes,
1.
ma'am.
Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house.
Stop right there. That's what me and Lisa had to do. Mm-hmm. I had to get up out my father's house. Mm-hmm. You know, we were there. We didn't intend on being there. My mom had passed and my dad was broken. I mean, like broken. He couldn't be by himself. You know, he wouldn't have made it. So my brother and my sister, they weren't really in a position to do what me and Lisa did. So the house that we were renting at that time on Prairie Road, a lot of y'all have been there. Yeah. We were intending to buy. But man, and I love that house. Yeah. But it was like that wasn't the house. And then but because we were renting it, we were able to just say, you know what? You know, we talked about it and she was on board with it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Cause you know, my dad is like her dad. So we did it. We put all our stuff in storage, gave up the house. Gave up a lot of money because the money that we was paying to rent was going towards us buying. And so we did that. And we literally went from a house to a bedroom. Uh-huh. And now it was my mom's house. And my dad would say stuff like, this is the family house. I was like, Daddy, this ain't my house, dude. You know what I mean? This is not my house. This is your house. Because if this was my house, I would get rid of this. I would get rid of that. I would get, you know, this ain't our house. So please stop saying that. But it wasn't bad at first. You know what I mean? Because Daddy was sick. He was broken. Then we tried to help him heal. Then he got sick. And that was a whole nother thing. So we ended up being there like 5 years. But then after he got sick, or after he started to get well, he started to turn back into Daddy. And two men can't exist in the same house. Not like that. But to my point, how did we come out of a bedroom? It took us working together. You know what I mean? We strategized. We moved in silence. You know what I mean? We moved in silence. We definitely didn't say nothing to Pops, at first, because, matter of fact, he knew that we were planning on moving, but he didn't know when. And then in his mind, he thought, these kids ain't gonna do nothing. He didn't know that we was strategizing, because we had to make some moves. You know what I mean? We had to, because he had got so bad. It was like he started to try and put me back in kid mode. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, Daddy, come on, Daddy, I'm 50 plus, bruh. And I respect you. You know what I mean? But I can't. I'm doing everything for him, Lisa. That's my wife. She ain't cleaning your room. She ain't cooking. She ain't doing none of that stuff. I did all that for Daddy. Wash his clothes. I did all that. You know what I mean? Because that's my dude. But at the same time, I ain't Keedy. That's what he used to call me. Keedy or Head. Head, come here. It's like, no, dude, I ain't that dude. So, but so we had to get ourselves together. I mean, and we wasn't far off, but we had to do some things. We had to get, polish our credit up. It wasn't terrible, but we wanted to be in a position to where, it wouldn't be a burden for us to get a home, and we was listening to, everything that Bishop was teaching. It was resonating. You know what I mean? It was resonating. And then when it was time, we just started to plan and execute. And man, when the way that it happened, man, it just, when you start moving, we was just moving in what we were hearing. You know what I mean? We was, God was getting behind our effort. God was getting behind our rock. And man, he came through in a way that we didn't really even expect, because we was like, and Shelly Beans, and may know some of the story, but we was looking, I started to get frustrated because I wanted to kind of move farther out in the northwest area, but we couldn't find anything that we wanted. So, anything to fit what we want. Cause we was like, look, if we're going to buy a home, we want to get everything that you want. You know what I mean? Right. If you want 2 garages, get a 2-car garage, 3-car, whatever. Just make sure that you're getting what you want. Right. So we wanted, I love wood fireplaces. That was I said, honey, we got to have a wood fireplace. Some of the new houses that in our price range didn't have wood burning fireplaces. So I started to get frustrated because there was Lisa's thing was she wanted a master bedroom, bathroom. I'm sorry. So we were looking for what we wanted, and we started planning. We started getting our bills and stuff together. We started saving. We just started doing a lot of things to move in that direction. Then when we went to the guy, what was his name, honey? Mark. This guy named Mark. He sat us down and talked to us, and we let him know he's seen the financial position we were in. He was like, man, y'all be in y'all house before Thanksgiving. Yeah. And this October, in October. And this was the same year that we went to talk to him. We was like, really? So it was just amazing how God was lining everything up. And then we got with Shelly B, and we went and looked at a bunch of houses. And then that's when I started to get frustrated, because I'm like, I'm not seeing nothing that I want, and some of those houses were nice, but they were not what I wanted. And I wasn't planning on coming back to, this, back north this way. I wanted to move in the northwest neighborhood, but man, when we seen this house, y'all, it was, y'all know, every last one of y'all know when something is God. Right. This was God, man. And it was like, it was in it was like tucked away. It was like a diamond in the rough. I grew up around the corner from this neighborhood, and I never knew that this house was there. I knew the neighborhood was there, but I didn't know that house was there, man. And I was like, I was getting frustrated. And then, Lisa called me. She was like, honey, you got to look at this house. And then she sent me like the Zillow, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is it, man. Where's this house at? And it was like, right around the corner on 63rd and blah, 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 right around the corner from daddy, y'all. I can't get away from my daddy. But that's okay, you know, because that's my dude. You know, I got to be there for him. I don't mind that. I just can't live with him. You know what I mean? Right. So anyway, we did all that. We sat down. We got all the duck. Shelly Beans took us by there. And man, after we walked through the house, it was like, oh my goodness. And literally, y'all, this is how we know that it's God. I work with one of my coworkers is best friends with the brother that built this house. And this dude is literally a millionaire. He's a real estate guy, stockbroker. Yeah. He was working in New York. He didn't go to work that day. The towers went down. He was supposed to be in that. I mean, if he would have been at work, he would have died on 9/11. Right. This dude got money. You know what I mean? And he restored that house. I mean, they put money into that house, man. And these people were so generous when we got there as buyers. They didn't know who was going to buy their house, but they had stuff laid out. Like the lady was a baker. She had cookies laid out, man. It was just, you know, it was God. They left a note saying that, we really love this house. This house has been through three generations of families and blah, blah, blah. And we poured all our love into this. I mean, it was just God, man. And oh yeah, my coworker. I just showed her the picture. I said, this is the house that Lisa and I are looking at. And she looked at the picture. She was like, you got to be kidding. I know this house. This is my best friend's brother's house. I said, you got to be kidding. And it just lined up. But we did, as far as the financial part and all that stuff, I ain't going to get all into that. The steps that you take, you know, just be persistent and be y'all hear it. Y'all finna hear it, from the fellas. Y'all done heard it. Y'all hear from Bishop every week. You know what I mean? Y'all know what to do. Just execute it, man. Get your phone and small steps, baby steps. Erica, that's awesome. That's awesome. Baby steps, man. You know what I mean? Baby steps. So I'm honored. I know we got 20 minutes. I'm not gonna say a whole bunch. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say. Go ahead, Keith. Thank God for everybody that is getting ready to buy, that's preparing to buy homes, man. Give yourselves a hand. Yay! That's awesome, man. You know, when we talk about being royal priesthood, we are a royal priesthood, man, and we have to really start learning to walk in that. I be trying to get my mind there. It's like, dude, we are a blessed people. We are a blessed people. Amen. And it's time for us to walk in that. That's why I love these fellas to see they doing their thing, man. And, you know, they come to men's prayer and stuff, man. I mean, God is doing something for and through the men in this church, y'all. I'm telling you, he is. And these guys are awesome. You know, I wish Coach was here too. Bishop had mentioned Coach, Sunday. But these men are great, man. We come together and meet and we talk. I mean, just men don't often get to do that. And we've never really been able to sustain that in the church. You know what I mean? In our church, because men are men. We're men. But this group of men, man, we on something, man. We on something. And the young fellas too, we on something, y'all. So thank y'all. God bless y'all. My time is up. I got 8 more minutes. Hey. Okay, well, I can go there. Me and my wife both, we make decent money. My wife makes more money than me. I don't have no problem. And we had this conversation before, and we was talking about it a little bit about it in the office. I don't have no problem with my wife. My wife can make more. Hey, I don't care about that. That's right. Bring me the money. That's my money too, you know. But my money is her money. You know what I mean? We literally, y'all, For everybody that's married, it's teamwork, 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 teamwork. We have to work together. I know her strong points. She knows my strong points. I know her weak points. She knows my weak points. My wife is sharp, and not just because she loves to dress. I love that about her, but that's not the depth of her. She's a bad woman and I'm not gassing her up. It's just the truth, y'all. You know what I mean? I know that she's a strong woman. She's a strong woman of God. She's a great wife. And she undergirds me. She don't try to emasculate me because she can't. I wouldn't let her. You know what I mean? And I'm cool people, y'all, but I ain't no punk. I ain't no punk. Hey man, listen, come on now. It's about working together. And I know that she, if she can handle something financially better than me, hey babe, you got that? Yeah, I got it. I got it. What we doing here? Yeah, we doing this, that, the other? Hey, okay, cool. I thought, okay, honey, I got you. You know what I mean? But no, that's just real talk. We work together. We are a team. You know what I mean? We walk side by side and we do it together. If it's something that we don't agree with, if it's something that she does that I don't agree with, I voice it. You know what I mean? If it's something that she don't agree with, she voices it. Yes, ma'am. I don't care about that. Because why? Here's why. But this is our dynamics. Everybody's dynamics in marriage is different. You know what I mean? These are our dynamics. We don't. I know that she's not going to spend something outside of what we're doing. You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing, and that's what she likes to do. She likes to buy. I don't have a problem with that. But she's not going to get us in trouble. With our finances because she got a whole bunch of dresses. She don't need no dress that bad to where she's going to get. You know what I mean? But that's not an issue for us. You know what I mean? It's not an issue for us. But at the same time, we had to grow to that. Lisa has always dressed nice, but she's never been like, I'm not gonna pay this bill because I want to get this item. Because we've always had kids to raise, you know what I mean? So the kids was always the priority, you know what I mean? So she gets something nice, she gets something nice. When we was raising our kids, we spent time trying to raise them. Not in perfection, but that we was parents, just like a lot of y'all are parents. It took a lot of effort. My time up, so. Well, I got to get the fellas up here. I know they bubbling. They got stuff to say. Yeah. But thank y'all. Give it up for my brother, big nephew.
Okay. I don't think Lisa was here to hear that. She was here for Lisa to hear.
I'm gonna use May Lee's mic for the MC as she wipe me down. May Lee do to wipe me down. No. Y'all give it up for HG.
My wife, I will. May Lee told me to say this, so I gotta say it. I want to give it up for my wife for the award that she won. Thank you, Shaquita. Thank you for that. That's special. Yeah! That's special. She deserves a reward. You know what I mean? I did nominate her. I did. And Shaquita told me about it, and I was trying to do it sneaky, and she kept, cause my email, she's connected to my email. So she's like, what are you trying to do? I was like, cause I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm trying to communicate with sis back and forth on how to get it done. But yeah, I nominated her and y'all elected her, and that's special. Congratulations, boo.
We got to make sure we go into details on that. Cause everybody's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So make sure, Lisa, you let us know what that's all about. Cause people are like, huh? What's going on? As Keith, okay, I might have to fire May Lee. She's supposed to wipe the microphone down and sit down. Wipe it down and sit down. Coming up next, this young man, I'm telling y'all, he has a phenomenal testimony, a beautiful wife, an amazing mother, and so. Give it up for his mother. Without further ado, I introduce you, Mr. Kenny Williams.
Shh. Settle down. Settle down. Settle down. I've come to you today to bring a word. So good afternoon, family. So my job today is to talk about a few things. I kind of compartmentalized it into two parts. First part being faith, to embark on this home ownership journey. And then the second part is the discipline in the monthly expenditure. So we'll get into that a little bit. But first, I want to talk about the vast amount of faith it takes every day. And it is an everyday thing. When you don't come from wealth, mom does well, but, we ain't got it like that. And, just having the pedigree of having a man do this every day in your face, that is a big help. And I did not get that. And I know a lot of us didn't get that. But it can be done, fellas. So I want you guys to be aware that the amount of faith it takes daily sometimes to get up and go after it, it's not to be, it's not something just to sniff at. And thank God I have a great wife who restores me and encourages me. Because the day-to-day thing is your faith comes in waves sometimes. It's not always enough to move a mountain. Some days I'm low. Some days it look tough, man. I mean, you get overwhelmed being a husband, father. That alone can be overwhelming. And then my job, for those of you who don't know, I work for Lowe's, and I'm the assistant store manager, and the store manager is my boss, but realistically, I'm the store manager with two other people because everything stops with me. And I often tell my wife how much, any given time I've got 70 to 100 people calling for me specifically. And that can be overwhelming. So having to get out of that headspace and, come home and conduct a household on top of pursuing, a new venture, like it takes a lot of mental capacity and faith because, you run low. I mean, that's just the nature of it. You're not going to have it all every day. But that's when you have to lean and depend on God, man. This journey, every step that I've taken has amplified my faith and my discipline in God.
Come on, Kenny.
From jumping off into being a husband, starting there, I mean, that alone, there's a different level. And then becoming a father, that's a whole nother level. I mean, and especially, like I said, when that's not something you've seen day in and day out, an example of this is how you handle money. This is how you talk to your wife. This is how you discipline your kids. This is how you have fun. This is how you correct this, deal with that. So every step, every day for me, and I'm just talking personally, is in the dark and wilderness, essentially, I remember when we were down in Miami last year, and we were out on the boardwalk, just hanging out, and, the ocean is like probably 10 feet away from me, and you can hear it. But it's nighttime. You don't see nothing. And that's a great representation of what it is sometimes, Wow. We read the word, and, in Matthew, or when Jesus beckoned Peter to step out on that water, that's what it's like, man. You really have to shakily take that step. And it's like, now I'm out here. I'm a husband. I can't backtrack. I'm not going to drop Trey John. So I got to hold it down here until the next step. And all the time, you hear those waves crashing around you. Yeah. Them waves loud, them waves get real loud. And, you get encouragement from your family, from your peers. You hear the word. But even then, sometimes God is going to purposely allow those waves to get that loud to where you hear nothing but him. And that's where the isolation comes in, because at the end of the day, you're married with kids, singular. My walk with God is singular. Like, God will talk directly to Kenneth.
Yes, sir.
As an individual sometimes,
yes,
not as a husband, not as a, like, hey, this is what I need you to work on.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and so
good.
Being able to step out on faith, because, it's scary, man. I'm going to keep it 100. It's uncomfortable. And it has to be because, your comfort zone can sometimes be where your dreams die. So you gotta be afraid. If you're not afraid, then that means you're stagnant. You're sitting still too long. So every day, I have the lifestyle that I have. Man, it is every day sometimes, a stressful day at work or whatever. But right now, it's every step is in the dark. I can hear those waves crashing all around me, and I have to hone in to, the things that are within me, my scriptures that I read every morning. I have to be very vocal because if I'm not talking loud, something else is. I have to get up, and Trey knows it. I get up, and before I say anything to her, I go through my progression, what I call it, with my Modeh Ani, and then there's a certain number of scriptures that I go through. One scripture that I know by heart just about now is Psalms 21. And I think verse 2, let me look at it for sure now.
Yep.
Verse 2, come on now. Following like that. Scribe, read.
Thou hast given him his heart's desire, and has not withholden the request of his lips.
So that's one that I read every morning. And doing this now, like I said, as a father, husband, now embarking on home ownership, the darkness and the loudness of the waves have caused me to do that every morning. It's increased my intent to where, we all get up, I'm tired, I just woke up, I'm running late, let me run through these scriptures. I don't have the ability to do it like that no more. I have to really wake up early and give myself time with intent. Like I mean when I'm saying these things. So because I truly believe in them and I need God every day, I have to talk loud because, doubt talks real loud. So I got to be louder than my doubt. It's going to get tough, and it's supposed to, because, growth is uncomfortable. We all grow. A lot of my young bros, you're still growing. If you grew, what you would grow between now and a year, if you did that in the span of a minute, you would probably die. The pain would be immeasurable. That's why growth happens gradually over time, because it's painful. So, because we've all experienced growing pains when we've grown too quickly, in your knees or your back, your growth plates. So it's something that there's no getting around the grind, essentially. You've got to go through it. It's going to make you stronger for the next step. Like I said, my first step was, being a husband. It's like, okay, God strengthened me to become a father. It's like, okay, and now here I am growing, essentially. And for me, it's difficult because, again, just like some of y'all, man, I don't have that point of reference every day. It's like, I got my bros that I can bounce questions off, and I do bother them with stuff like that all the time. It's no bother to them. But like I said, man, it's going to get to a point where even what they say, God will purposely put you in a situation to where, like I said, you can't hear nothing but him. And don't be afraid of that. It's going to be scary, but don't be afraid of that, man. That's where your growth comes. So, so that's what am I looking at on time? What am I looking at? 10 more minutes. No, that's why I asked. So I'm going to transition from faith into discipline. We're going to talk numbers now. Given my position at work, I do this all day, every day. I have to talk to a certain number of people about numbers. Sometimes those conversations are adverse. They're not very good, but it is what it is. So discipline, along with your faith, once you get down from being afraid and you are, okay, I can do this. Now, the mental work comes. So as a husband, we have a certain amount of money we make, and a certain amount of money goes out every month. That's, our expenditure. And my job as a husband is to make sure, I'm going to draw it on the board real quick, if you don't mind, Tina. Can I borrow some, come on, Tina. Erase all that with Bishop. No, I don't. So, no, I don't need that. I'm going to just, So basically, the way I see it, I'm a numbers guy. I look at graphs. I'm in the position I'm in. This is what I look at daily. So I look at it as a straight line. I'll just put it up here. Hopefully you can see it. This side represents what we bring in. And this side represents what goes out. And this part right here is what we call variance. Now, my job as a husband is to make sure that this side does not overtake the variance. So let's say we make $5,000 a month, but we're spending 48. That means we have a positive variance of $200. That's not comfortable. One insurance claim deductible will take you over. One set of tires will take you over. And, as of recently, we've had to tweak our budget because some new expenses have popped up. And so that gap isn't as big as I would personally like it. That's life, though. You pay for daycare. I mean, boy, Cairo better become a genius. That's all I got to say. So in my job, the number one controllable expense in any retailer is wages. Thank you, Brian. That's the number one most controllable expense. Because if I'm not making enough money first thing that gets cut is people. I got to lay people off. When you are a husband and a father, you cannot fire your kids or your wife. You cannot fire them. It's like, hey, we're not making enough. Sorry, Carson. You got to go, bruh. You got to go. The P&L, profits and losses, not looking good. We're in the black. We're in the red. So, and with that, so, again, I have a salary, so my income is quote-unquote fixed, essentially. And Trajan has an hourly wage, but as a husband, what I've had to do is find ways to increase this gap. Supplemental income. How do you do it? You get a second job, you Uber. Another thing you could do is cut expenses. So looking at your bills, what can you go without? Maybe you have the most high-speed internet. Yeah, you could trim that down. You don't need that, especially when you are trying to become a homeowner. Home ownership is very costly. I remember when we first started, they put some numbers in front of me that I was not comfortable with. I was like, all right. I'm sure Shelly looked at my face and was like, yeah, I know. Because these are numbers that I was not comfortable with. I'm comfortable paying rent right now because that's, our rent at our apartment is like $1,600 for everything. Which, sounds like a lot, but I'm comfortable with that. I've been doing it for a little while now. What they're talking about for mortgage, that's a little uncomfortable. So there's a journey. We have a little bit of time. I think we probably are just within 12 months roughly before our house is closed. And there's an amount that we have to come up with to close. And right now, my variance does not support that. Now, it's circumstance, Our sons, one is in preschool through OPS, so it's free, and the other we're paying for. So that's a new bill that we've just started recently. And, it's, $230 a week? Yeah, $230 a week just for Kai. Just for Cairo. Because, Carson's, so, and it was either do that or either I would be paying it in daycare or preschool, or I'd be paying it in gas because Carson's school is so full that they placed Cairo at Skinner. Now, we live on 156th and Ida, and Carson goes to Sunny Slope on 108th and Maple. I'm not driving to Skinner every day. What I will be paying for schooling, I'd be paying in gas. That's just too much. I'm not doing that. So we have to make room. We have to adjust. So that variance number for us got a little shorter. So what do? Let's look at our expenses. We know what we make. We know what we bring in. Like I said, I have a salary, so I can't work overtime and get paid for it. I work overtime. I just don't get paid for it. So anything helps at this point to lessen the blow. Where can we trim the fat? What are we doing too much of? Are we eating too much? That's one thing you got to look at. Are we spending too much on subscriptions? What are the things that we can do to soften that blow of, the things that we have to pay every month? So that's what we're doing. We look at it. I've considered getting second jobs. Unfortunately, my work schedule availability for another job is a lot slim, which is why I Uber. It works for me. And it pays the bills, guys. Hey, sometimes that's where gas money comes from, groceries, anything. So just my thing is being able to make that decision on the fly. It's like that's not something you can sit there and 3 months later, like, I guess I should have got a job. Because if you, let's talk about if your variance is 0. So let's say your what you bring in has remained the same, but let's say you're in the negative, you're in the red, you're spending more a month than you're making. All it takes is 1 month of that to cascade you for the next 6 months, by the way. Yeah. All it takes, like I said, one insurance claim. If your variance is $200 and you get a deductible for $1,000, your next 6 months is going to look rough. Because you have to try to shuffle money to pay, cover expenses, stuff like that. We all make those mistakes. And, circumstance, sometimes we bring it on ourselves. So the goal is to alleviate that as best as possible. So stick to your budget. Like I said, trim what you can. Lower your expenses. Like I said, you can't fire your kids and your wife. Sorry, they here. They're going to cost you money. I mean, but, nah, I can't. She'd be the last one to go. She'd be the last one to go. Harleen. Ma'am. Go ahead. No, I'm ready for questions. Go ahead. She's irreplaceable.
Did they hear the question? Did y'all hear the question?
May Lee is about to be fired. That was the question. The question, how do you handle, since you have the budget and you know the money, when your wife is like, hey, babe, I feel God telling me to start my own business, where do you come with the money and the wisdom to handle that, to not crush her dreams, but you know that hump, that variant hump, and support her? How did you handle that?
Good job.
So, with something like that, that's why it's important to have a teammate, somebody who's aware of the situation, somebody that you can talk to and say, hey, I don't think that's in the cards for us right now. We've pretty much benched everything extra right now just because we are trying to do something that, is very, very worthwhile. I won't say difficult, very worthwhile. And it's requiring a lot financially of us. I mean, just to even start the process was $5,000 that we had to pay 25 and 25. And then there's a large number that we'll have to have at closing. So our job right now is to not create more bills, but to limit them. And so when I spin it that way, and Trey John knows this, but sometimes, sometimes you got to talk about it. So we talk about it. Recently, she's piqued an interest in going back to school, and her job was willing to pay a certain percentage of her tuition, but it would still give us another bill a month. That's like, hey, we just can't afford it right now. Let's continue to full steam ahead with the house. Let's continue to do this. And, my teammate, she understands. Honestly, guys, I'm the head of the household, but when it comes to the money stuff, Trey's a lot better than I am. It could be that her mom, Royalty, was, Royalty was about that bread. Royalty was shot caller, still is shot caller. And so in moments where, my lack of confidence in finances, I'm looking at stuff and it doesn't look good. So, in the past, I've kind of, you just kind of look away and just hope it'll go away. Having the wife, and, that's just being real. It's like when it doesn't look good, it's hard to look at. And early on, that's how you make mistakes. You have to look at it. If it's bad, the only way to dig yourself out of that ditch is to chart your progress from here, here, and here. So having a wife that's, not going to let you not look at it, I should say, causes you to be a man that's going to look at it. So, our we're in the process now. We're limiting ourselves. We're going without certain things. We're just how it's all how you play the game, guys. I'm not trying to grow our bills. I'm trying to grow our I don't want to grow our bills right now. I mean, because that number is going to be there next year, and I think they probably want that number roughly in the bank from about 3 to 4 months out. 3 months out. So they want about 15, 16 bands in the bank. What is it? Today is so June. About June. So I'm not in a rush to add bills into the monthly expense. Because that will put us in a position. I'm not about to get to March and be like, we only got 5 bands. I'm not doing that. This is worth every ounce of effort that I can put forth to getting done. And even in that, I realize that there is, so much room for God, I will say. So much room for a miracle, because I don't have, like I said, I'm not coming from wealth. I'm out here learning this stuff as I go, which gives a lot of grace. God has a lot of grace. And, but even then, knowing that God, that's where it goes back to that faith thing. It's like, God, I'm looking at the numbers and, it's looking rough, even with bonuses and stock option. There's a way to get there. But like, God, if I don't know what my bonus is going to be. The industry is down. The economy is down. People aren't spending money. Sales plan for our store needs to be a certain number for us to max bonus. And, we just got a bonus this month, and it was not what it had been in the past. And it's like, oh, well, it's going to happen. It's got to happen. I'm out here I'm off the boat now. I'm sitting out here, the waves are crashing. It's like, Lord, if I sink, they looking at me and they looking at you. So I'm going to pass the mic to
Give it up.
Prelate Leandre.
Maylee just wipe it out. Maylee's doing her wipe it out. Come on, give it up for Kenny. That was good. That was good. That was good. I'm learning a lot from my own son. That was good. Boy, that HG. Y'all see a theme going in? What I'm loving so far, HG and Kenny, they got teammates. They don't look at them. So they don't have wives that are just like, I'm going to get it anyway. Babe, we got a budget. We got things we work. You can do a lot when you got somebody that you can work with. And just don't assume that when you single, you ain't got nobody to work with. You can work against your own self. That is a huge problem. People don't realize. You be like, but it's just you. You can fight you. And sometimes having a husband and be like, no, we're not going to do that would help. But when you be like, shoot, you get in your feelings and be like, ain't nobody going to tell me. And then the other side is like, look, you ain't been looking at these things and ain't nobody going to tell me. You can mess yourself up. So I thank God that the men and the wives that are working with the men, coming to the stage, y'all. Let me just say this. This one right here is my brother. This is a special brother. That thing, oh my Lord. Y'all, he about to bring it. And I need y'all to give it up for Mr. Andre. Leandre. Woo, woo.
What's going on, family? Man, they crazy. Well, Bishop told me, he had texted me, he said to talk about, the budget process and also, how to keep your wife happy. So I'm going to hit on a couple things. So I know this is relationship class, right? So
Right, go ahead.
we got to handle that too. So I guess I was just looking and I was just trying to find a scripture that fits both of them. And Ma, can you read 1 Corinthians 14:40?
Yes. $14.40.
Yes.
Beautiful. Let all things be done decently in order.
Yes.
Come on,
So
Drake.
my profession, I work in the finance industry. And so I worked at ConAgra Foods. You guys probably know that company. Worked at Mutual of Omaha. Worked at Allegiant Creighton Health. Worked at Hyatt, the hotel corporation. And currently I work at Cox Communications. And so I'm going to kind of piggyback what my bro said about the controllable, but then I'm also talk about the uncontrollable expenses as well. And so in the finance, that's what we call them. We call them, uncontrollable and controllable expenses. And so the controllable expenses, things that you can control. So there's things like travel and entertainment, Jordans. Probably woke my son up there, right? And there's the food places that we like to eat sometimes and things of that nature. And so those are the things in travel and entertainment, things like that. So and then there's the uncontrollable items that we can't really control, and that's like like the rates for the utility. We can kind of limit some of the lights by we all tell our kids, hey, cut that light off, and and things like that. Yeah, but the rates, we really can't control the rates, and and our rent and our mortgage, we really can't control those things. And so when you look at that thing, and it's good to have a partner. My wife back there, I don't know if y'all know, but I'll kill a dead skunk over that one right there. Dead. I'm gonna kill it. But it's good to have a partner, and and one of the things that I've learned through this this process, not only marriage but also in life, and being in the finance areas, you want to control those things, and one of the things that my wife and I have, we both have very good communication. And so when you talk about expenses, and my wife, since we've been married, I haven't even wrote a check. My wife, she writes all the checks, because I used to be that person before she came. I was the one that, hey, Drake, can I get $200? I'm going to pay you back. Never got it back. Drake, can I borrow $1,000? Yep, I got it. Never got it back. So I was one of those guys that, I was just like, always wanted to help people, and, always wanted to lend a hand. And, it could even be my brothers. It could be uncles, you know what I mean? Anybody, and everybody probably know this one. When my taxes come, I'm going to get that back to you.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Taxes came like 5 years. I still ain't got that $20 back, Yeah, but and so and I made decent money, and so I had a budget, but I didn't really have to like check the account. You know what I mean? I knew what was going out. I knew what I was bringing in. I knew what I wanted to say. So I didn't really, I had a budget, but, I didn't have to go in there and say this one is $32, and do it that kind of way. But, trying to save and do that kind of thing. And, when my wife came in, she was like, hey, we not doing that. You know what I mean? We're not going to do this, this $200. Hey, for real. We're not going to do this $200, and there's things like that has, helped me, because now I can put that money into other things. And that's like, taking the boys out, having a good time. We just like to have a good time. We like to laugh. We sit out on the porch. We do the s'mores, and you know what I mean? And from a money perspective, sometimes you don't have to go get steak every week, right? But it's okay to treat yourself. If you work hard, treat yourself to a steak, and you know what I mean? It's okay to do those things, but you also have to do things in decent and in order. And so you have to make sure that you don't close that variance gap are you, and from a financial term, you don't want to be in the red. The red means you're negative. That means you have less money coming in. And so you don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul, as that old saying used to go. Right. And so you have to be definitely prudent, with your expenses. You have to definitely understand, like, what do you have? What do you need to take care of? And then also make sure you pay yourself. That's, pay God first, but then, of course, pay yourself. Put your little, even if it's $20, everybody is on different income brackets. Everybody can't get, the Lamborghinis or the Bugattis, but, whatever you got, it's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's, you got to live within your means and do what you have to do. So you don't have to keep up with the Joneses per se, you know what I mean? But you do have to have a plan, and you do have to do things in decent and in order, though, you know what I mean? Because things happen, you get a flat tire and you realize that you thought that you can repair it, but nope. You need to get a new tire, and that's $250. And then when you go home, the AC is not working. We heard the story of Bishop, how much he had to pay just for the AC, And so you make sure you definitely got to have, things put aside for those things that may occur that you wasn't expecting, And so, one thing about that, I definitely try to have those things. And, we have certain accounts that money go in, but should nothing be coming out of. You know what I mean? And you have what we call it, we got big savings, we got, just the play money, and then we have some stuff that, we don't touch. And even if it's $50, that could be the vacation fund. We'll say $50 a check, do that for a year, you make some money, and you can have, put together, it'd be a flight and things like that. And, of course, we got little mama back there, like, Kenny was saying, like, those expenses are, them pretty steep. We don't pay as much as you do, thank God, bro, but $230 every week, man, that's a lot. But, you definitely got to make sure that variance is good. And so I guess the one thing I learned too was, my dad, he did this for me as well. When I was coming up, I was working, and this was right after college, and I wanted to get a car, and I had the money for it. And my dad was like, I know you have the money for it. I had it in the bank. I could have paid for it. But he said, no, you need to build your credit up. And he said, and at that time, I was like, credit? What you mean, Dad? I got cash. I could pay for it. But he's like, no, you need to build your credit up. And so that's one of the things that I did. So I borrowed the money from the bank, and then I just had the money out of one account go pay the car, you know what I mean? And I got a low interest rate, but that's how I built my credit up. So you guys, like Chris and things like that, you definitely want to get your credit up, because starting off, you can have a great credit, but after a while, that credit, as you get older, start getting some dings on your credit. When you pay something late a little bit, you do something, and our real estate agent, they can tell you got to have that good credit if you want to get that nice rate, and if you think you're going to get the house that you want to get. So definitely make sure you take care of your credit score as well. How much time do I have?
You just got up there.
10 more minutes.
You got a question, right. Bo?
Got a question? Okay, Bo, what's up, Bo? All right, I hope you guys heard that question. So the question was, you get a credit card and you want to get your credit up, and you make a purchase, and then when it comes time to pay that card, do you pay it off? One thing that I will tell you, if you do have it, you do want to pay it, because one thing you will be doing, if you play like that minimum, essentially, and we'll just do simple math. You pay, say the credit card payment is $100, but probably on that credit card, it's probably 25% interest on it. So right off the bat, that $100, you're only going to pay $75, and $25 is service charge. And then now they're going to compound that for next month. So then it's going to add up again. So now you thought that you paid it off, but no, you still got $25 on it. And it's going to keep creeping up if you pay that minimum balance. So, and then, and that will establish your credit, but then you're losing money as well. So, yeah, so I would definitely pay it off. And then you want to pay it, if you can pay it early, you want to pay it early because they do look at that, that due date. And if you pay it on that due date or, after that due date, they can ding your credit for that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, and that's one of the things. I don't know if you guys heard the question, but the question was: say you got like a reoccurring charge, and say it's Netflix, and you just have that auto paying off your credit card. That definitely would do that. And one of the things too, if you do have a credit card, there's some stuff that you may have, but you have to be. And this one, I'm gonna say it, but you definitely have to be diligent with this one. And there's stuff like that you can pay on your credit card. Say everyone has a cell phone bill. Everyone has, you got a cell phone bill. You got like your Cox bill and things like that. If you have a credit card, and if you see when those are due, you use your credit card to pay that. And then that'll establish your credit because you should already have the money. You're already paying it off your bank. But if you pay it off your credit card, then, those rating agencies will see that and say that, okay, he's paying it on time and you're doing it. But one thing you have to be diligent because, when you look at your regular bank amount, you be like, man, I got $700 in there. And then you don't make that payment on your credit card and then it's late. Then you be backtracking, trying to figure out like, man, how I'm going to get that back. But if you're diligent with that, that's how I definitely was set those up, and that will help your credit tremendously. Yeah. Any other questions? Third row, what's the questions? I know you got some. Somebody give me some. Third row, question. All right, what's up, Kobe? A young age? It say if you have a credit card, and one of the things I just said, if you have a credit card, you know what I mean, and hopefully if your cell phone bill is in your mom's name or something, see if you can get it in your name. And then when you get it in your name, do exactly what I said. You have that month that you're going to pay. If you pay your mom that bill, then you pay that on time. And you just and like what he said, you have it auto pay, and you can have it auto and coming right off of your credit card. So then you don't have to worry, but you have to be diligent and not have it like in your bank account. And then when it's time to pay, you think you got money in your bank account, but you didn't pay your credit card payment. So I would do so. If you have any kind of bills that you have, you do want to, use your credit card, and you want to make sure there's all kind of credit cards out there, and get some of the perks off some of those credit cards. There's some like, Southwest. If you buy, you get certain miles, and if you can use those miles and free trips. We use, Southwest credit card, and, we get so many points and we take trips for free, just by using the card. I'm not sure the youngest you can get a card, but yeah, so he said that if you have a child and you can use them as your child can be an authorized user, and then they can use that card. And one of the things I did for Cyrus, too, to try to help him out, he said he wanted to have some stock for his birthday. He just turned 15. Yeah. So one of the things I did, he was at 15, and I bought the stock for him, and I was trying to transfer it to him, but it wouldn't allow me because he's underage. But he has stock, now in Sony, and it was just, something, and yeah. So those are the kind of things that you can do, even for your kids, you know what I mean? Things like that. And then, I want to show where his stock is going up, his stock is going down. Should you buy more? You know what I mean? Because my son, he was buying a lot of Fortnite stuff. And, man, it just tears me up because I don't know if y'all know about Fortnite, but this is a game. And so if I wanted to have a hat for my character, that's going to cost $10 for the hat. And if I want him to do a certain dance, that costs $5. So these kids and the game is free, but you have to pay for all the stuff that you do. And you see, he would get birthday money, $100 just buying a hat, some shoes, a different dance. And I'm just like, no, you know what I mean? So it really touched my heart that, he wanted something different this time. So I could definitely sense the maturity in him. That's my time. Oh, I think you definitely need to have a relationship with the Lord. That's first and foremost. No hesitation, point blank, period. Have that relationship with the Lord. He'll lead you, and third row, and Lala, when it comes that time to, you look at someone, it's okay to reach up for help, to ask. We have done things that you probably thought that we haven't done, but we have done things. We have been in situations, and there's no prejudgment. There's no prejudgment. We'll take you under our wings. We'll give you some insight so you don't have to make some of the mistakes that we've made. And we've made mistakes. I know I've made mistakes. Thank you.
Was cute, but y'all got to give it up for Leandre. Woo. Man, this is awesome. You're getting different perspectives from different views. This is good. The questions I'm loving the questions coming from the men. That's good. That means they're thinking, they're listening, they're hearing. And just a quick shout out to Cyrus wanting to be like Q with that stock. I love it. I just play it. I know that made Davion just beam with pride. Finally, last but surely not least, coming to the stage right now, y'all have heard him teach and you've seen him serve at the Apollo. And you've seen him serve in the house of God. But you ain't heard from him like you about to hear from him tonight. So I need y'all to get up out your seat.
20 minutes.
Y'all got to know who is in front of you and what is about to go down. If you listen and pay attention and get out of your feelings, not only will he show you how to buy a house, but he'll sell it for you.
Amen.
Give it up for Brian.
Thank you. Give it up for none other than P. Lenny. Man, she's phenomenal. That is a Grace Apostolic gift. Am I stalling already? I am. All right. I got 20 minutes. Man, it's hard to go behind these awesome men of God. My goodness. Grace Apostolic, we are so blessed to have the experience that we have in this house, from the teaching, from the head down, everything about it. Man, Tamika, she called it so right. She said, if you're dry, that's your fault. Man, I can't let that go. If you're dry, that's your fault. The oil runs from the head down. And man, look at what it's producing. Look at the fruit. Look at what we're getting day in and day out, and we take it for granted. Our heads are down. We're looking at what's going on a daily basis. We're texting our friends. We're doing something else. It looked like I wasn't paying attention. I was writing an offer, so for all y'all that would wonder what I was doing. I was writing an offer because I have to keep it going, okay? But you still have to have an ear to hear, and you've got to be able to listen and react and let your soul absorb what's being said, because there is so much that's going on in this house right now that if you are dry, it's your fault. It's your fault, okay? There's no excuse anymore. None, okay? What Bishop's doing, what's going on with him is phenomenal. And we are also recipients of it. But if you just sit back and say, well, that's just him, then that's on you. That's your choice. You get to be a witness. I'd rather be a participant. Okay? But if you want to be a witness, that's on you. I need someone to say, I remember when. Because I was there too. I was down. I was desolate. Me and my wife, we came in here broke college students. We didn't have a pot to piss in. Okay? We didn't have anything. I could not finance a single thing. I didn't have a shoelace. I didn't have nothing. Okay? I had a 400-something credit score. Right now, we're pushing, she's almost at 800, I'm in the 700s, okay? We have been working hard to get to where we need to be, okay? We've been paying attention. We've been listening. Yeah, and we've got some things. And I thank God. Bishop told me to talk about my blessings. Man, so many blessings. I can't contain it in 20 minutes. God has blessed us so much since we've been here, since we have served. Every day. Every day. It didn't matter. I remember being tired. I remember being exhausted, falling asleep on those stairs, and he comes out the office, just go home. No, I'm here to serve. If I can go bust my butt at Walmart for 15 hours, I can come serve for 3 more hours, regardless of how I felt. Because I knew that there was another side to it. I knew that there was going to be something else. I knew there was more. And so I stayed. I worked hard. And when it felt like a huge disappointment, when I didn't get Ames, and then when everything else collapsed, I was like, man, God, come on. But I didn't see today. I didn't see 21. I didn't see 22. I didn't see what's going to happen in 23. Man, I'm so blessed. My family is phenomenally blessed because of the word of God that is being taught here. And we cannot take it for granted. I got to piggyback off of Kenny. I've been meaning to talk to you guys about this, the waves of life. Man, they beat you. You heard about the waves beating up against the boat. Well, my son and I, we went snorkeling, okay, in Jamaica. And I was like, this is going to be so much fun. And that day, the seas were a bit rough. And the guy that was with us was like, hey, we usually go about a quarter mile, half mile down, and then we swim back. Well, he was like, it looks a little bit, it's white capping, so we've got to go here. And so at the beginning, we didn't use life vests. We just put fins on and snorkel mask, snorkel, and we were just out there because we did it the day before. We were like, this will be fun. So Trey and I went out there, and everything was good until like Trey got pushed off to the side. That should have been our warning. Like, hey, the sea's a bit rough, right? No, we pursued on. He actually towed Trey along, and so we were swimming. And so we're swimming up against the waves, and it wasn't a big deal going against the waves, which didn't make sense, but going against the waves wasn't too bad. But the lifeguard was towing Trey. He was getting tired. And so he's like, hey, we got to turn around. So I was like, all right, cool, no big deal. But see, when you turn around and you start going with the waves start to overcome you, okay? They go over your snorkel. So your snorkel's up here, and the waves come over your snorkel. And if you don't have a snorkel that is built or equipped to withstand the water coming in, you get water in your snorkel. So imagine already being exhausted, and you're swimming, and now you have water in your snorkel. That is your apparatus to breathe. Now you can't breathe. You're exhausted. What happens? Panic sets in. Okay? All right, I'm going somewhere with this. So you've got these waves that are overcoming you, and it's now instead of it being water in the boat and you're worried you're waking up Jesus, now you've got water in your lungs, and what do? Okay? I panicked. I'm going to be straight up and down. I panicked. I started swimming back, and I'm like, oh no, I can't breathe. I can't clear this enough so that I can keep going. They were probably 25, 50 yards back, and I'm like out in the middle where I thought, I could probably touch the bottom just to rest for a second. Nah, I was in 10 feet of water. So I went down, came back up, and I'm like, okay, I'm in trouble. So I actually screamed for help. I was like, help. Danielle, my wife is the baddest woman on this planet. She doesn't swim well. My wife doesn't swim well. But she said, she got up and started walking to the water. Okay? She started walking towards the water. And I said to myself, if I can just get to her, I'm going to make it. And I'm tired. And I kicked my fin off. So I only have one fin left. I'm already tired. I got water in my lungs. I'm trying to clear my lungs and swim at the same time. Man, it doesn't look good. It looks bleak. Some of you guys are in that same situation right now. You are in a situation where the water is overtaking your snorkel, and now you're trying to breathe, but man, it just feels like there's so much that's coming over you. But if you just keep your eyes focused on what's important, that is the most important thing in my life right now. Besides God and serving, I had to keep my eyes focused and stayed on my wife, and I was able to make it to where I could stand just for a moment to catch my breath and then get out the water. And by time I got there, the other lifeguard came. Now it was just for show because I already made it. I could see my wife. I could walk to her. I could make it out the water. But just shortly, I didn't feel like I was going to make it. I looked back to see if there was help behind me. There wasn't. How far away from the shore? Because it looked like I was closer than I really was, but I wasn't. I was not. But if I just kept swimming just a little bit more, and finally when I put my foot down, I felt relaxation. Man, God, I'm still here. And that's what you guys are going through right now, is you are so close to being able to put your foot down. Man, I did not plan to say this. You are so close to being able to put your foot down. Jesus. You are so close to being able to put your foot down that you don't know that you're about to be able to walk out of what was trying to drown you. You don't realize that you're so close to the blessing, to the saving, to getting where you need to be, that you feel like, man, I've kicked my fin off. I can't breathe. God, help me. But he's like, if you just swim a little bit, if you just stay focused on me, you stay focused on your goal, you gonna make it. You gonna make it. You're tired. And he knew I was tired. So God's gonna send me out to Jamaica to drown? No. I have full confidence. I was scared, don't get me wrong. It was scary. I thought to myself, man, this is going to be a great story. But I knew that if I just made it to her, I was going to be all right. And that's what we have to do, is we have to keep our eyes focused on whatever prize that we are focused on, whatever we're striving for. You have to keep swimming towards your goal. Amen? So also, so thank you, Kenny, for the waves. So those waves are always going to overcome you, but you've got to be able to keep focused, all right? Let's talk about finances. We talk about it. My wife is, I just told you guys, my wife is phenomenal. My wife is excellent at what she does, to the point that, like, everybody else that's around her is just useless to her. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Like, all the managers, all the leadership, they're useless to her. She knows what she's doing. She knows it at a deep level, right? And me being home with her, I get to experience how her conversation goes, what her mind thinks, how she understands and studies her business. So she's phenomenal. Okay? She makes a ton of money. Thank you, Jesus. She makes a ton of money. She's been able to do some things that we didn't think were possible. I mean, like, we knew we were going to be blessed one day, but man, we didn't know it was going to come like that. Now, that's a wave that came over us, and man, we were like, whoa. Man, this is a good kind of wave. That's the kind of crashing that I want to feel. And so that's what happened, is her income blew up so quick that it just was a rush for us. And we went through some things of like, yo, let's have fun. So, I mean, we were broke for so long. There's a lot of folks in here that helped us when we were broke. okay? A lot of folks, we were broke for so long, but not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. And I'm so blessed to have a wife that still allows me to be the man. First and foremost, I'm not that type of guy to be chasing after a woman doing the little shuffle step. That just don't look good on me. Okay, I'm too big for that. Okay, I'm way too big for that. But if we didn't say anything, y'all wouldn't know how much my wife makes. Y'all would have no clue because of the way she carries herself. She even carries herself when people talk about it. Everybody thinks it's me. I'm like, man, I do all right. I do all right. But she, but her, this nigga, man. And she is just as cool and as humble as possible. She just, it's a game. It's a game. And I'm not saying that to say, oh God, we're so. I am saying that. No, I'm saying that we are so blessed. And it started here. It started from the teaching. It's about tithe. It's about your tithing, your offering, your giving, right? Your living. You put that in God's hand. Man, so many times I've heard bishops say, God knows you need that money. And I'm like, man, I remember the first kingdom we gave. I'm like, man, I need that. I'm like, maybe God's going to find a way that bishop would be like, here, son, you need it back. It don't work like that. It don't. He ain't never gave me no kingdoms back. So get that mind fight out your mind when you give a kingdom, because Black Ronnie ain't giving that back, okay? that ain't coming back, all right? But what is done is our giving has opened up the door for us, for God to be able to entrust us with more than enough. So many years we went in with just enough manna. Now it's abundance. And now it's maintenance. Now it's understanding, okay, all right, we've got this amount from both of us. We get this amount. How do we make sure that we don't squander it? How do we make sure that we grow this? How do we make sure that our kids don't start where we had to start? And those are new paths to traverse, okay? That is difficult. Especially at the level that we are at, and it's our season, and so it's tough to understand how to get there and what steps to take. And there's going to be mistakes made. I used to mess up money so bad, right? Please, I used to mess up money so bad, but that woman has always been patient with me. She knew that, or maybe she just I don't know what she did, but she was patient. She let me make my mistakes, but now it's all in her favor. She does whatever she wants, and she corrects me all the time in the sense of, I will say, hey, this is what you've done. She goes, no, this is what we do. This is what we've done. And so I'm pretty sure I'm getting close to my time. So that's a benefit or the blessing or the beauty of the Hellcat. So y'all know me. I just go for it. If I see something, I salivate and I go. And so I don't even know how I got to that point, but like I was on the phone with the dealership that Friday night, and I'm like, hey, let's run the numbers, whatever. And so the guy's like, all right, I'm going to call you back on Saturday. And so I actually missed the call on Saturday because I was preoccupied with somebody in this room. I'm not going to tell you who. Raise your hand. You know who. Raise your hand, baby. There you go. All right. I was preoccupied with that one. And I missed the call. I am nasty with her. I can't tell you what we were doing. There was some praise and worship and an offering given. We weren't here. So I missed the call. And I called the dealership back. I texted the guy. I'm like, hey, I missed your call, but I'm still very interested. You know how people be. They send a message to a dealership or whatever. They just kicking tires from thousands of miles away. No, not me. I'm serious about it. So long story short, I start working on everything. And so Janelle's out with Chaz, and I felt bad, kind of. I felt bad, but I was like, hey, I'm about to just do this on my own. I was like, if I don't get approved or whatever by myself, are you okay if I run it with your numbers? She sends me a text back that says, no, we run it together. See, my first Hellcat I went and bought on my own. Marcus was with me. We drove through the night to Indiana. Okay, I just did it on my own. Did everything. I came back. I was like, got a Hellcat. She knew I left, obviously. But this time, she's like, I want to be a part of this. Hey, yes, ma'am. Okay, all right. I'm glad I was, home alone or whatever in a room, so the boys didn't see or whatever. No, I didn't cry, but it touched my heart. If I had tears, it touched my heart. Anyways, I'm getting low on time, but here's a moral to the story. The moral to the story is my wife wanted to be a part of this. She knew how much this car meant to me. She knew that I really wanted my Hellcat back. Got a phenomenal deal. I was the only person that called on the car. It's a dealership demo. So basically, the owner in Orlando, his wife drove the car, put a couple miles on it. They have to sell it as brand new because it's never registered. Okay, so I got it for $11,000 off. Most of the red eyes are going for 10 over. Okay, you can't get a used one for what I got my new one for. So they had it on the internet for a whole week. No one called. I was the first person that called on Friday. After I called on Saturday, 3 other people called. Pastor KT, you know how this goes. Okay, 3 other people called. Well, I was the first one. They've already been working with me. They've got the numbers ran. They're doing everything with me. And so they're like, okay, well, how much do you want to put down? I said, I got to fly out to you. I ain't putting anything down. They're like, okay. And I'm like, well, this could be the end of it. So he sends me a text back and says, hey, just send me your flight confirmation and we'll hold it. So Bishop holds his Lambo for $1,500. I hold my my Hellcat for $11.20 because I had points on my American flight. So me and my wife got tickets, and I paid $60 per ticket for us to fly first class down to go pick up our new car. I paid $11.20 to go get my car. And so it was a long drive back. We had to get back to get the kids or whatever. We left Monday morning super early. But my wife is phenomenal. We did it all in one fell swoop. We drove through the night. My wife drove pretty much all throughout Georgia and all throughout Tennessee. And then I picked it up and so I drove through Florida into Georgia. She took over after we stopped at Buc-ee's. She's never seen a Buc-ee's before. If y'all have never seen it, they're huge gas stations that look like Walmarts. 100 pumps. They're crazy. It's awesome. Good food, too. But she drove through Georgia, into Tennessee, into Kentucky. She did like 5.5, 6 hours straight. Did a phenomenal job. Allowed me to sleep for about 2.5 hours. And then I took it over from Kentucky, and I took us all the way home. But being in the car with my wife for 20 hours was the best time because I just got to spend time with my best friend. Even though we were trying to get stuff done, she was working. Hey, when we both got back, we still had work to do. We both did stuff. I wrote a contract. I ended up getting $1 million contract plus another $200,000 almost $300,000 contract. So it didn't stop even though we got a blessing. It didn't stop. So we were both tired, extremely tired. But I just want to let you guys know that, man, I'm phenomenally blessed, especially for where I came from. I don't deserve a single thing. So that's why I look at my life and I just shake my head and I thank God because I don't deserve a single thing that I have. I should be dead in Chicago. They should still be looking for my killers. My body should be in Wolf Lake. Okay, if y'all know about Shy like that, okay, that's where I should be, right? dead on the west side, somewhere, Maywood, wherever, okay? But God. And so I thank God that I have the opportunity to be blessed with a life that I can get up and testify in front of you guys and say, if you're dry, it's your fault.
Come on, y'all, give it up. You don't wipe me down? Man, we were blessed. Y'all have no idea how phenomenal and how fun, how educational and entertaining this class was. I thank God for HG, for Kenny, for Dre, for Brian. It's a blessing to see men be able to talk about experiences and be articulate. I was like, man, we got some smart, awesome, good-looking, married, calm down, men, and it's a blessing for what they are showing other men. And I'm sitting there as a single female like, I got to get some stuff together. Anybody but me like, man, okay, I hear you, Kenny. You know what? I'm not going to let these waves overtake me. I hear you, HG. You know what? I'm going to work on some things and get some stuff in motion. What Dre said about handling your finances, you know, forget Fortnite. Y'all knew what Fortnite money was. Everybody in here, if you don't even buy it, I done bought so many Fortnite gift cards for my grandson. It's ridiculous. And Jordans, all that stuff, and the beauty of even Erica getting an apartment saying, I have to get up under my mom and establish something. It's one thing when you at Betty's house, but when you got to I bet all those lights is out. I bet the lights be out. She just get a sprinkle of water, and things change now. But she was at your house. She brushing her teeth, washing her hair, water just a running. But now the water, it be dark, using her cell phone. But it's and it's something when it's her. So tomorrow, I mean, I'm excited. First of all, I cannot wait to hear about this is Lisa Mill coined this. The pimp in the hole from Danielle. We got to find out what happened. Lisa said Danielle be pimping Brian. I can't sit over there no more, y'all. I am the pride that they have talking about their wives. I mean, Dre didn't let us know, but I'm sure Candace is going to let you know how he keeps her happy. And Trey is sitting up there beaming like, honey, she has a teammate. Y'all pray. We might have to end the class with Lisa Mills because I don't know if we can start. We might have to flip it around because that thing ain't right. But so tomorrow, please come out and support the wives and hear their side of what they're, it ain't going to be like, nah, my husband was lying. Let me tell y'all the real deal. we homeless. No, he lied about everything, y'all. We would not have them up here if that was the case. So I am going to just want y'all to know about tomorrow. I'm going to pass it back over to the men. They can, however they decide, for a prayer, altar call, and for collecting offering. I'm just going to leave the microphone here.